In this video, we are going to discuss, with the help of Reddit, the pros and cons of moving to Kelowna, British Columbia. Now, if you don't know what Reddit is just an online forum. People ask questions and other people provide the answers to those questions. There is a lot more to it, but in our case, this is just a question and answer based video. I'm going to go through one of the forums here. I'm going to read the top question and then go through the answers and then provide my input as well on the pros and cons of moving to Kelowna. Now, before we do that, just quickly, I am a real estate agent here in Kelowna. So if you are looking to make a move, I'd love to help with your search. I have provided a link down below in the description where you can book a one-on-one appointment with me there. And if you do get any value out of this video, please drop a like so other people like you can find this video as well. And hit the subscribe button where you can stay up to date on my future videos. If you Google the pros and cons of moving to Kelowna, it comes up with a wide variety of results. 1.18 million to be exact, and one of those might be this video that you're watching right now. But what we're going to do is go through Reddit, one of the top forums that we have here. Does anyone actually like living in Kelowna? Now there are, according to this, there are 3 other forums that people have put in over questions that they've put in over the last 6 years basically. So I would recommend going through those as well, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through this one here. Does anyone actually like living in Kelowna? Okay, so the first comment that we have, or reply: positive, you are within 1 hour of world-class anything. That is absolutely true. Kelowna is within 1 hour of, or within the city alone, there's world-class golf courses, wineries. The ski hill's about 40 minutes from the center of the city. And then if you go outside of Kelowna, we have more golf courses, ski hills, wineries. There's the lakes, the mountains, everything you would need if you love the outdoors. And negative from this person, it's a giant strip mall. What he means by that is there's a highway that leads, Highway 97, that goes right through the middle of the city, and then you got all your stores and stuff on either side of the highway. Worst traffic ever. This person probably has never been to Vancouver or Toronto. Full of douchebaggery. Okay, well, I don't, that's, who you hanging out with, what do you, that sort of thing. That's, people say what they're going to say. This person says, seems accurate. So that's the original poster. Seems accurate with everyone else. Appreciate it. I've lived here my whole life, couldn't agree more, and the rent is a joke. Rent has gone up a lot in the last 2-3 years, just like anywhere in any major city in Canada. It's basically doubled. It's very unfortunate, but that's what happened with house prices. So of course rent is going to follow that. I find it absolutely hilarious when people say a small place like Kelowna has terrible traffic. Yes, just as I mentioned, they haven't been out of their city into a major city before. And this person says, completely agree. We moved here from Edmonton. So this person moved from Edmonton, spent time in Vancouver. Kelowna is a lovely breeze. This is the funniest complaint I hear. But I also 100% get it if you live west and work. So if they live west, it would be Vancouver, and work 9 to 5 in Vancouver, and they have to commute. So that's what they're talking about there. But compared to Vancouver and Toronto, Kelowna as traffic is, it's like that person said, it's a breeze. This person says, love it. Same here. Same. This one's a bit longer here. I grew up there and moved away for school. I don't think I'd go back, at least for a while. It's beautiful. Summers are great. Winters are super depressing. Don't see the sun from November to March. Well, that's simply not true. It's March 18th right now, and we do see sun before that from November. But it's March 18th right now. It's 15 degrees outside, sunny, and there were people at the beach. Yesterday was Sunday. There were people at the beach. I drove over the bridge and saw the beach was almost full, like it's packed with people in the water and on the sand. Weather is nice otherwise. There's good access to outdoors. There's massive growing pains at the moment, and I don't see traffic getting any better. I don't either. It's just set up poorly, and what they mean by that, again, is the highway that goes right through the middle of the city. There's no bypass like in other cities. Transit is terrible, though. You need a car to get anywhere. I would agree with that. It's tough to get around. There is transit, obviously, with buses, taxis. There's Uber and Lyft and all that here as well. That just in the last year or so, we just got those services. But our transits, the buses and stuff are getting a lot better. But we don't have trains or anything like that here. This person, again, says it's changed a lot over the last 20 years, and I don't see it growing even. I do see it growing even more. Yes, there's a lot of building going on right now. The city is going to look completely different in the next 5 years. Definitely a lot more exciting now than it used to be. Yes, I would agree. And then this person replies to that about the sun. It was sunny all last week. That's a bit overdramatic. I agree with that. But in fairness, it's a valley, so we do live in the Okanagan Valley. So in the valley, we do see a lot of inversion, creating fog in the valley bottom. I was at the beach in March of last year, so this would have been 2 years ago. And again, it's March, 2 years. You know, that was probably 2022. It's 2024 now. People were at the beach yesterday. Beach in March sounds pretty nice. Yes, it is. Yeah, I've heard that's one road in, one road out. That's the highway that leads in and out of the city. It's because we have a huge lake. Like there's one bridge that goes over Okanagan Lake, and Okanagan Lake is like 120 kilometers long, and there's one bridge that goes over it, and that's right through the city of Kelowna. City is growing too fast for them to update the infrastructure. Yes. It's also hard because there's a lot of agricultural land tied to the main roads, which can't be developed. In a lot of cases, it would be really expensive and time consuming to try to update the infrastructure or add a second bridge. They're talking about adding a second bridge. I feel like every year they talk about it, but it's never happened. I don't know exactly where they would even do it. But yeah, that hasn't happened yet, and I don't see it happening in the near future. Now, this person said, and this is good for if you're moving here, especially from Ontario, moved here from Ontario, and winters here are amazing. Compared to Ontario, yes, absolutely they are. It might be a little overcast, but at least I can go for my mental health walk and not be in physical pain from the cold. I would say that the public transit is pretty average. Not as good as Vancouver, but way better than Ottawa. So that person says, I've never took transit in Ottawa, but take it from them that it's better than that. This person says, I enjoyed it in my 20s, my 30s, not so much. I think it would be easy to live somewhere else now that you've lived in. Okay, I'm not going to read that. It's just them going back and forth. The next one here is really good. So this guy talks about, or this deleted user talks about the pros of what they think of moving to Kelowna. So this person says, moved here and back a few times over the last 20 years and have lived in a bunch of different small and large places over the years. Something keeps bringing us back to Kelowna. I like the smallness of it, but with the amenities of a city. So it's small relative to Vancouver and Toronto. Within the city, there's about 170,000 people. And then with the surrounding area, West Kelowna, Kelowna Lake Country, you can include Peachland in there as well. It's about 250,000 people. But within the city, you're around 170. So it is a medium-sized city, but you do have all the amenities of a large city. I like the weather, less gray than the Lower Mainland, less cold than east of the Rockies. I like the access to the outdoors, relative lack of traffic and commute time. Absolutely true compared to those big cities again. I struggle with the keeping up with the Joneses part of Kelowna. If you live here or have spent any time here, that you do get that feeling for sure. I know there will always be people with more and less financial resources, but the cost of living here is so high, and I cannot figure out how so many people here have so much money. That is true. If you go into some of these neighborhoods, the houses are huge and gorgeous, and there's 2 brand new cars in every driveway, and it's like, how do you afford it? And so you do definitely have that keeping up with the Joneses part here in Kelowna. So if you can avoid that, you'll be very successful no matter where you live. And next year, I feel like there's way more drinking, drugs, alcohol with kids and young people than in big cities. I don't really know how he knows that, or maybe just senses it. Not sure if it's tied to activities, boredom, or access to money, but it worries me as my kids get older. It's very fair being a father. or mother. I don't know what this person is. I'm worried about affordability. Not sure that my kids will be able to afford to live here when they become adults. That is absolutely true. It's super expensive to live here. Considering, like, especially if maybe you're coming from Edmonton, it's a lot more expensive in terms of housing, especially housing. The average house price is over $1 million here for a single family home. And in 20 years or 25 years, actually, I have an 8-month-old daughter. And so when it's 25 years from now, whenever she's, ready to buy a house, what are house prices going to be then? What is the job market going to look like? So that's definitely something of concern if you are moving here and you want your kids to have what you have. Next, I feel like we're becoming less friendly, welcoming, and inclusive. I feel like it's harder to find community here than 10 to 15 years ago. That's his opinion. The thing is, I'm not sure where I'd find anything better. I agree with that. Kelowna is, once you move here, live here for a while, it's a beautiful place. Now, I'm just going to go over one more that I thought was good. I could read through these, but this video would be 3 hours long. So, Unedited Reddited says, I lived there for 7 or 8 years up until 2018 and enjoyed it for the most part. I knew a lot of good nature spots, less crowded beaches and swimming holes, waterfalls, hiking trails, etc. Tons of good mountain biking trails and road riding, and man, I miss the sunny road ride. Big White, Silver Star, Apex, and Baldy are all easily done as a day trip, and also great Nordic skiing as well as ski touring up in Pennask. Good to great and seemingly over-expanding food choices, breweries, and wineries. Tons of new breweries downtown. If you haven't been here for a few years, it'll look completely different. And even the skyline as well. There's a lot of new buildings going up. A fair amount of concerts and live shows. So we do have Prospera Place, which is our hockey rink, but we do get comedy shows, like big comedy acts like Dane Cook and all that. We do get concerts and other things come to town like monster trucks and stuff like that. So we do get all that here at Prospera Place. There are, however, a lot of, and I hate the terms, but stereotypical douchebags and pimpos. Write it out, dudes. Shitty tattoos, getting drunk on boats, who are later looking to get into fights or cause drama on the beach or at the bars, as well as loudmouth drunk girls with fake tits and lips who are in their 30s but look 50 due to too much blah, 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 blah. So that person has their opinion on that. Most of those are tourists, okay? In my opinion, most of those people are tourists. Come here in the off season, you won't see that at all. Okay. And next, this person says, driving is a pain in the ass, especially if you have to get from Winfield, Lake Country, or the west side to downtown during peak hours. So, yes, during peak hours, say 8:30 in the morning, the bridge, in my opinion, coming into Kelowna from West Kelowna isn't the greatest. And then coming from Lake Country and Winfield's fine because there's no bridge to deal with and there's a 4-lane highway. But the bridge does cause congestion during peak hours in the morning and can in the afternoon. And then if there's an accident, it gets even worse. But it's driving, again, isn't that bad. Housing prices are steadily rising. Housing prices, again, have shot up over the last 2-3 years during, just like anywhere during the whole pandy that went on. And then this person says, overall, I'm very, very glad I left, but somehow also think back fondly on my time living there. So I think those are some great pros and cons directly from other people on the internet, not just from one person. I did my own video on the pros and cons last year, but I came across the forums on Reddit and thought it would be a great, just great to see what other people's opinions are on the city. Pretty well close to mine, but some are kind of out there in my opinion. So I encourage you to read through all those and the other forums that are on there as well. I'll leave a link down below in the description if you just want to click on that and read through all of the replies yourself. And again, if you did get any value out of this video, please drop a like, hit the subscribe button. And again, I am a realtor here in Kelowna. If you are looking to move here, or you're looking to buy or sell, I'd love to help you out. Thanks so much and have a good day.